Guys.
We talk feedback into there. So do I have something set up? See?
Echo, echo. It's like singing at a ballpark, ballpark, ballpark.
So do I need to turn these?
Mute.
Okay, can you hear us now?
I can hear you, but pretty good echoing.
Still echoing?
That's much better.
Okay, that's why. Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, we are ready to roll.
All right. Everyone, we are on the clock. I will call this meeting to order of the DeKalb County Commissioners, and the date is June 27th, 2022. Good morning, Dottie.
Good morning.
you got
Hey,
to-
first thing, I'd like to find out, now Carolyn, I know, sent you all a sample of that employee survey, and she wasn't in for me to ask if, we were rolling on that or not. So just wanted to make sure that all of you had gotten back with her with your comments, or if you were waiting to give me the comments to give to her this morning. So I think I did hear from you.
Yeah, I emailed her
Okay,
a couple of suggestions.
okay.
Part of the reason she shortened questions was so that where she wanted to on the bar graph. Results, however, I want to make sure we don't lose anything. Oh, sorry. I want to make sure we don't lose anything in the translation, the
Good,
questions
yeah.
are very clear.
not gonna-
That's more important than how it shows up on the bar graph.
Right, yeah. Yeah, oh, the more of the narrative. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
I had no issues with it. I didn't contact her, but
Okay, all
Tom,
right.
have you looked at it?
Bill, I can't hear a thing you're saying.
Uh-oh.
Put that microphone a little closer, maybe.
On the employee survey that Carolyn sent out, did you look at it and respond to Carolyn or have anything to say? No, you didn't look at it?
I have a hard time hearing you. I'm gonna play with my controls here. Go ahead and talk. And then ignore me for a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you did or did not look at the survey?
Did not.
Okay.
well, I think Carolyn would really like some feedback if you have any, and then she will, we'll try to get that out as quickly as possible so you guys can get answers back. So, hiring, the perennial jailers, deputies, we have those postings out and about. The assessor has had, actually, Sheila was overwhelmed with the volume of resumes that she received for her open clerk position. So I think we stopped at 148. I closed it out a day early for her because she was already going, oh my gosh, And good portion were pretty decent. So she has quite a task ahead of her to look through those. I had to apologize to her that I just couldn't help because first of all, she She asked me during the week that Lindsay was out with COVID, so I was handling everything, and that also the finishing up of open enrollment for the health plans. So I didn't have a lot of time to devote to screening. I did screen a few that, as I'm reading through, so I didn't even send them to her. But she, like I said, she's got quite the task ahead of her to select those that she wants to interview. And the extension office had extended an offer to someone, but that someone was looking more for a hybrid position, one where she could work more from home. So I guess that wasn't explained during the interview, and so now I wouldn't say that they're back to square one, but they're looking at a few other options. And is that your dog, Todd? No, he's shaking his head. Okay. I don't know. Some dog is ringing in now. Anyway, speaking of Lindsay, we've been doing some training. She's already done some onboarding, which is great. Training's going to take a while. We got a chance to visit out at Sunny Meadows and also Community Corrections. We still have a few other departments to visit, some meet and greets, but, we're making inroads there, and, training is just ongoing. As I have said, everything's the same until it's not. We have a lot of those, things that you go along and then, oops, that situation is totally different and you can't handle it the same way. So we have that. The deadline for the health plan was Friday, June the 17th. We finally got our last enrollment on the 23rd. So Teresa was Johnny on the spot, and she got all of those things in the computer. So we should be good to go. And then now for me, throughout all of this, I still have a lot of our intranet site. We have to update the documents on the health, the health plan documents on the intranet site so that our employees have those. Also, our COBRA had to be updated, and any employees, there's a whole list, a litany of reasons that we have to send COBRA notices to employees either enrolling or being dropped from the health plan. So we've been working on those with the vendor to do that. Also, Aflac and Trustmark had open enrollment this month, and I do believe we are finished with those, or pretty close. And then One America, that's the one where we have our life, accidental death and dismemberment, and our short-term disability, and also the long-term disability for the Sheriff's Department. The one that we have, those are the policies that we have with them, but we have also offered voluntary long-term disability for our employees. So we're going to hold an open enrollment. That plan, it renews on August the 1st, so that we wouldn't have another July 1st issue, having everything come all at once. So that will be the next project that we'll be doing. And last but certainly not least on my list is Wagner, Irwin, and Shealy is expecting to get us the market, the salary report next week. So I know everyone is chomping at the bit. I have a couple department heads who are, hey, you happen to know? You happen to know? And it's like, no, not yet. So, but, from Susan's instructions to department heads about budget and talking about what wages, hopefully that, has alleviated some of the, trying to figure out, well, what should I do for next year with a lot of department heads. Although we do have with Community Corrections having their cycle, with grants a little different. They are, they are just, well, whatever council decides is whatever council decides, because they've already submitted their grants to the state and tried to anticipate what they could. I do believe that they're going to talk to council regarding the health plan, because they were not anticipating the jump in the premium cost. And of course, that department bears the brunt of those. So anyway, they asked for all of that information from us to make a presentation. So anyway, we've just got lots of things going on, and, always, what do you guys have for me?
Mike, anything for Dottie?
At a conference last Thursday, Baker Tilly conference.
Yeah.
Spent a good deal of time on hiring and retention and recruiting and what keeps people interested in staying, and longevity and things like that.
Yeah.
As soon as I get the copy of the slide deck, I will share some of those things.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Particularly in the area of non-monetary
Right.
incentives. I think there's a lot of things that we might be able to at least discuss.
Okay. That's good.
But there was some really valuable time with that particular session. So
Good. All right. Wonderful. That's good to hear. Hey, there was one more thing that I forgot to mention. The surveyor had lost an individual, one of their inspectors. His last day was Friday. And so it was about 2 weeks ago, when we found out, I had sent the job posting. When we were looking the last time, I sent that to Mike. I have not gotten that back yet. I had asked for him to review it, and I checked with Michelle last week. Hey, I can't find anybody for you unless I get a response. And she told me she was going to take it home. She was going to make some comments and hopefully discuss with Mike. But I think, as his usual schedule, I think he was off on Friday. So I don't know what's going on with that. Well, we shall see. But they do tell me that their part-time clerk is working out fabulously.
Great.
So they're very, very happy, getting a lot of things organized. They had so much paperwork, all the files that had to be moved and, looked at, and things just needed to be, updated, and also drainage board things too. So add that to the surveyor's pile. And so I guess they are making baby steps. So that was good to hear.
Okay. I have nothing else. Todd, do you have anything for Dottie? Can you hear me, Todd?
No, nothing here. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
You're setting records, Dottie.
I know. I'm trying to talk really fast. We're just.
Well, have a good day. Catch you next. No, it won't catch you next week.
I'm sure.
Unless you're coming in
You
on
know where I
the-
live.
Unless you're
You know,
coming
I'm
in
right
on
over
the- Right. All righty. We have some gentlemen in the audience. I assume they're here for the project manager. We
If
do
you
not
guys
have.
could sign in also, just so I know.
We didn't. I probably didn't get that on the agenda. Maybe I should have.
I say I don't have it on there, and Ben's not coming today.
He's not coming. I think we just. I don't know if we want to act on this today or put it on the shelf till the 11th. Well, let's have a discussion. Can we
That's
act
fine.
on it today without it being on the agenda? Jim,
What's that now? I'm sorry.
can we act on this project manager lane for the highway. It's not on the agenda. Do we dare act on it?
Is there a need for you to act on it today, or can it be put off till next week?
It won't be next week because we're closed next week.
Be the 11th. I don't know if there's an actual need. We're still,
Todd is going to, everything's cutting in and out, so he's going to view and listen live, but he's not going to be able to interact with us.
okay.
I think
We think,
that'll cut him out of any voting, so
There he is.
I think we probably would want to vote on that when we have three of us here to vote.
yeah, I agree. I don't think we're in a panic
Wait a
mode to
minute.
get this done by any means.
Todd, can you still hear us?
Bill and Mike are very quiet. I can hear everyone but Bill and Mike.
Okay.
I think it's safer to put off anyway, just to be, so you don't have anybody that gets upset about something. You go by the book.
Yeah, yeah. We can take comments today. We've got a couple of gentlemen that haven't been in. Would you like to get up to the mic and tell us what's on your mind, what you got to offer, and
We were just here to follow up. RFP with others.
okay.
Yeah, thanks for coming in and for getting the RFP around, or the proposal around so quickly.
Tim, you have any more to add?
Following FCI construction. We had some wonderful conversations last week with them. Options and, how can we, really keep an eye on the scope, but yet, specifically keep an eye on part of your conversation. Really, really good conversations. Coming up with some, different ways to approach this, so looking forward to it. We're selected with you to come up with, and bring those forward and talk with you about that and see if we bring this to reality. So, yeah. We're extremely excited.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. I'm a bit on the fence on this yet. I still haven't sorted everything out. I want to get an additional meeting with Ben and Ryan Grog and go over some things. See what we can do to adjust this project. But, so we'll make sure that's on the agenda, the 11th of July, and we'll make that decision for sure. Okay, anything else on that? Todd, anything? Oh, can you hear me, Todd?
Yeah, just barely, but we're good.
I don't want to have to eat this microphone, Todd, now. Okay, moving on. Payroll.
Move to approve payroll.
Yeah, Todd, move to approve pay. I can second. I'll second it.
Second.
Okay.
Second payroll.
Okay, a motion to approve payroll and a
We
second.
have to do roll call with him.
Yep, you're right.
So Todd, Mike,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye. Claims.
motion
We had a
passed.
small batch of claims. Todd's not able to look at them.
Yeah, I think they were all okay. I'll move to approve them.
I'll second the claims. Any additional comments? All those,
Todd, Mike,
Aye.
Bill,
aye. Minutes. Get a chance to read the minutes, Todd?
I did, I'd make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second to approve minutes. Any additional comments? All those,
I know. Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Bill,
yes.
motion passed.
Travel. Motion to approve. Questions?
I'll move to approve. Second.
Motion and second to approve travel. Any additional comments or questions?
Todd,
Yes.
Mike,
Yep.
Bill,
Yep. Okay. 2021 Indiana Public Transit Annual Report.
this I had emailed you guys. I wasn't sure if you had gotten this before, but I would like to have a motion that you acknowledge receipt of it. I'm not sure if DART may need that sometime, or if they will be bringing it when they come to give their update, but I didn't think it would hurt to have it reviewed and acknowledge that you got it.
I'll move to acknowledge receipt of the DART Public Transit Annual Report.
Thank you.
Second that, and, yeah.
A motion and a second. Are there any additional comments? Hearing none, roll call.
Todd? Mike?
Yep.
Bill?
Yes.
Thank you.
Canteen agreement is in that also.
Last week. Last Monday. Yeah.
We all sign.
Did that need discussed?
Oops.
Okay.
I can,
I mean, I
Yeah,
put
let's
it on just because I wasn't sure.
Okay, moving on to the tort claim. What you got, Jim?
it was just one by the law office of Myers Smith Wallace. Tort claim notice, yeah.
Good old Chris.
It has to do with the jail, obviously, because that seems to be his passion, Chris Myers' passion in life. We turned it into our liability carrier, and I've gotten acknowledgement of receipt. So we're all set. There's no other information. Same last name as somebody else that sued us. It may be who knows, maybe a husband and wife group thing.
One don't work, maybe the other one will, or something like that.
By the way, the Wallace in that firm is Kevin's son.
Really?
Yes. But, you know, well, never mind.
Okay. BZA appointment?
Are we there yet?
No, still
Okay.
working. I got a couple of names that Brent Scholl sent me a name, and he hasn't followed up with the contact information yet. I emailed Mayor Hartman and Mayor Fayant, that's asking if they knew of anybody, so.
Oh,
Still working on it.
okay,
We'll find somebody.
right. Todd, do you have anything on the BZA appointment?
He's gonna
I do
just,
not.
Okay,
for the most part, he's gonna listen from here on out. We'll see how things go.
okay. All right, then, we'll move on.
Slow down the meeting, sorry.
It's okay. We're well ahead of the game here.
It's not like we have a 4-hour agenda today.
No. Pretty light.
I like them short.
We like that too.
All right, moving on to the horse and buggy ordinance.
That's, I guess I should just say, I dictated something, I sent copies to all of you because what I said before we started was not on the record. But just, it's only for discussion purposes. It'll be sent out sometime later today, including to you, Todd, at your county email address. But again, it's just to trigger discussion and thinking and coming up with something as we go along.
Okay. I had three things I kind of wanted to throw in there. I read a little bit about partial year payment, and it seems like if they come in the last quarter and want to apply for a license, that would be the same fee, but that would include the next year. In
Next
other
year,
words, be
yeah.
15 months.
Yeah.
If they come in before that, then they got to pay another full year. Just a suggestion, idea.
I had tracked, as I said before, I had tracked what LaGrange County did, and there's a window to get things, and it runs from some date, can't remember now, but until like May 15th for that year.
Yeah, something like that, just,
And you'll see what's in there, and you may have better ideas on how to do it than I did, but like I say, that's what I took from their ordinance.
okay. Slow-moving emblem. Is that,
That's still required by state law.
I was thinking probably it was. The slow-moving emblem required by state law.
Slow-moving.
Emblem,
The-
triangle.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, that is still, and I don't have that in there because it's a state law.
Okay. Okay, the other thing I made a note of, who would collect or issue these license plates. I see they go anywhere from the auditor to the highway department or the trustees.
What I put in there was the auditor, but I gave the auditor the right to designate someone on her behalf. The rationale behind that, again, was in LaGrange, where they wanted to make it easier for the Amish.
Right.
And so the auditor there would have appointed the township trustee to take the money and then remit it to the auditor's office. But we want the auditor's office involved because they have to track who's paid and who hasn't. And the auditor serves as a representative of the commissioners. And I just felt that that was a good way to do it.
Okay, that's all I had. Mike, anything?
Nothing specific yet.
Todd, anything on the buggy ordinance? Wake up, Todd.
I think he's muted.
I think it was me.
I thought I might,
Well, he's not, there's nothing going on there at all.
Scoot to your mic.
I thought I might.
I'm gonna strap them on ya.
Get those clip-ons.
And in Todd's defense, I can tell you that you are somewhat soft-spoken. And when I'm going remote, I have more trouble with you, but almost as much with Bill. And it's because you're soft-spoken, and that's a compliment, except when you're doing remote Zoom meetings.
But I do carry a big stick.
Yes. Yes.
I thought that I might throw that out on the IACC Commissioners Forum, just to see if any of the commissioners have any thoughts or ideas, or gee, I wish we would have put this in the ordinance or something like that, just to,
Okay,
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You heard me before talking to those gentlemen saying lawyers get by on many, many things by plagiarizing because it's tested language in the courts.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's move on from the buggy ordinance. I thought it was just a comment that it's a horse-drawn vehicle. They described it.
Well, they call that a horse-drawn vehicle to distinguish it from a horse-drawn wagon. And I think there's probably regular tires on the wagon, and that's why they did it.
There are, just from anecdotal experience, having grown up in that neck of the woods, that some of those wagons still have the old wide steel wheels, but most of them are rubber tired.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. 2023 budget.
Okay, so I just printed out for you to start reviewing. I've got your commissioner budget in there with the courthouse, and then I have your lighted page, and then the Cume Cap courthouse. I think I forgot to, I'll have to print you out the, I had told you in my email, I'm gonna pull the council into their own location so that we can see commissioner expenses versus council expenses. It's not, it's like their travel, maybe their dues, their wages, their attorney's wages. So it's nothing giant like your guys's, but that's why you don't see their names in the top part for the general fund. So just so you guys can keep looking, just suggestion, they're trying to put as much as possible into wages. And I'm not sure, I imagine here in the next couple weeks that we probably will have a few, maybe like Alliance Industries and some of the others that request money from your budget. I imagine they'll be probably coming to speak with you guys to plead their case on why they need the funding. And then, they really only have one more meeting. They have more, but July 11th, so our next meeting will be when we want to, the best we can, nail this down. Everything's due by the 15th. I have some wiggle room with us in that matter, but yeah, the best we can. And then the other thing with that, with your lighted, and not that this is going to be done by July 11th, but we do need to update, we need to redo the capital improvement plan for the next 2 years that goes with the lighted. So that is something, I just thought we might be able to take care of all of it kind of together so we don't forget about it before the end of the year. But I'll keep it on my radar as well. So this is just for your guys' information to start looking at and making some notes and plans so that we can talk about it in a couple weeks.
Absolutely. Do we have a projection of how much the income's going to be next year for the lit economic development?
I will need to look. Let me grab some. I don't have it right here, but I will find that number.
Okay. No big, don't need it right now, but
Yeah, I'll find it and I'll email it
Okay. that'd
to
be great.
everyone.
That'd be great. Anything else on that, Mike?
Not yet.
Not yet. Todd, anything on the budget?
Nope.
Okay. We're gonna really work on that this next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And get into that July 11th meeting. Okay? All right.
Okay.
Okay, moving on, miscellaneous topics. Todd, do you have anything miscellaneous you'd like to bring up?
I don't think so.
You hear me, Todd?
No, I really can't hear you, Bill. I'll listen, but just go
Okay.
ahead and talk and I'll
Okay.
try to keep up.
Mike, you got anything on the miscellaneous topics?
Nope.
No, no. All right, I do. I got a question about the boring underneath the roads with electric or whatever. Did we not pass that ordinance? I swear we did. Jim,
I haven't had a chance to look.
because Ben doesn't have it. And he was asking about it. 'Cause-
I don't recall.
I don't know that we completed the discussion on, I know one of the times we talked about it was dealing with Dr. Dunn north of the high school and boring under the roads, but I don't, that's not necessarily the only discussion we ever had.
No, we,
And
I don't recall ever voting on an ordinance.
I know, do you recall discussing it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I know we discussed it,
yeah.
but I don't know that we enacted an ordinance. Todd, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jim.
Do you recall whether or not we ever enacted an ordinance about boring under roads rather than cross-cutting? We talked about it.
No, I do not. We talked about it, but I don't think we did an ordinance.
Okay,
Okay.
that's what Mike thinks and that's what I think as well, so.
Well, there's a little glitch here. I have applied for a boring permit. And Parker doesn't have an ordinance.
Well, I'm not sure he doesn't have the authority without an ordinance to grant a permit to bore under. It's certainly better for the roads than cross-cutting.
Obviously.
I would probably just say it's okay for him to go ahead and give you a permit because it's one method of getting from one side of the road to the other.
Right.
And it would be within his inherent authority to give you a permit to bore, again, because it's in the best interest of the county to do it that way rather than cross-cutting.
I knew we discussed some requirements, and one of those was that there'd be a charge for this permit. But in return for that charge, we would provide the markers on each side of the road to be erected to identify where that boring cable was at, that cable was at. So,
We can't, since we don't have the ordinance, we can't enforce that.
Right.
But you could voluntarily agree to do that in return for the county submitting the signs and stuff. Subject to the commissioners approving it and you not participating in that vote.
okay, let's get that on July 11th agenda
Okay.
and get that wrapped up. If we can find what we've worked on so far.
I'd have to go through the minutes, and Susan would do a better job of going through the minutes than me. But then if I have any notes or anything on it, I'll find those before
Okay.
the 11th.
Okay.
I just,
Any clue, just within the last 2 years, any clue of when we would have talked about it?
call Chris Galmer and ask him
He'll be
if he.
coming.
He'll be here.
He'll be coming.
Oh, here's Larry too.
Chris is
That doesn't
coming.
look like Chris.
Chris is coming at 9:15 unless Larry's replacing him. In my office.
Yep.
Oh, surprise, surprise.
Okay.
I don't know if you need this or
Probably. Oh, yeah.
not. Well, I copied and said no.
Thank you.
What else you got for us, Larry?
I'll give you these handouts. Over in the annex,
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
I had, Billy's Bug Busters come in. They're bat bugs, which they look just like a bed bug, but they're a bat bug.
Oh,
And we've had bats in the building before, but evidently there's more there. And it's a result of the soffit where it's coming down and stuff like that. So we probably need to do something about that in the front porch.
I had a fellow who was supposed to look into that, give me some idea what that would cost, and I've not heard back from him. So I can bounce him again or give him your name, contact,
Okay.
whichever, or I can give his to you if you would like. I'll text it to you.
Okay.
I'll text it to you.
But, so this was a quote that, from a guy that he knew. Anyway, the bats are protected until I think he said the end of August. I believe is what it is.
So, yeah.
Something like
So,
that.
yeah.
So I don't know if we can do anything before then, but probably won't be able to find anybody to do anything until,
Yeah. I think we got a highway bridge project delayed till October because of the bats. Yep. Yeah,
So-
we need some additional right-of-way or grant of easement, and it's gonna involve some trees coming down. So can't do it till October.
oh.
So,
So I guess we got a little while to figure out if we can even find somebody to do it, but
Right,
we really need to do that.
to address that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a,
and get that fixed. We'll
And
get
what
on.
is it due to? Explain that to me one more time.
The soffit is bad on that building, and there's places where it's kind of down a little bit, where birds, bats
Got it.
can get into. And we've known about it for a little while. I mean, and especially that front porch ceiling, that really needs
Yeah.
addressing.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Got a couple of things, Larry, and Mike and Todd. Monument people wanted like 2 or 3 additional parking spots for their executives.
Okay.
And they asked about the health department, and we declined that because of availability of customers coming in. I talked to Larry about it and decided, wanted to just run that by everybody today, make sure we're okay on it, to let them use that alley between the pole barn and the Holman building. And get 3 cars in there next to the pole barn and not block anything. And is that going to be okay with everybody?
who is it? Is it Jeff Folks?
No, it was Steve Lentz that called me from
With messengers. Is it
Messengers.
Oh,
Messengers.
Messengers, I'm sorry, yeah, Messengers. And,
Oh, because of their launch, they
Yeah,
shut down?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm okay with that.
yeah, and I told him if they come in to do that eave trough, they'd have to move to the other side.
Okay.
Okay, and other thing I saw over there was that eave trough that came off the boat barn.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that out of there.
Get that out of there, okay?
Yep.
Mayor's gonna come in, I think the 11th,
Yeah.
and to discuss the curbing around the courthouse square. They want to put speakers in those locations, somewhere in those locations. We talked about redoing that concrete underneath the lamppost and put the speakers in front of them. Had a discussion with the mayor. And we need to kind of maybe look at the possibility of replacing that curbing. It's getting to looking a little rough. At that point, we could make, what I'm thinking, Larry, and you can throw this around and everybody else, making that curbing wide enough all the way around to accommodate the lamp post, and then you put the speakers in between. I think it'd look better. It's gonna be less in and out jogs when it comes to mowing and trimming and.
Yeah. Well, and there's some spots on that wall
Yeah.
that's kind of bad.
Yeah. And I don't know if we can do it this year, but, maybe next year, it's something we could look at seriously.
And I don't know how soon they're wanting to do those speakers.
Yeah,
I don't
he
know.
didn't say. He did say he's got a couple extras lamp posts, so I think those do belong to the city, but they're on our side of the property, and we talked about rehabbing those lamp posts, fixing them up, cleaning them up, painting them when they take them down to move them, or however that works out.
Maybe, I know people might be upset about it, but if we're thinking of doing that, maybe not do the flowers on the lamp posts. Like if we're gonna do it, let's say we're gonna do it next year, because they're gonna be doing all that kind of construction around there. Maybe
Right.
think about doing that. But I know people would be upset about it.
What would you do differently or not at all?
Try to do something different maybe, or I don't know.
Individual stands maybe along there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and just food for thought
Yep.
on that deal. That's it. That's all I
Okay.
had. Thank you. Chris,
Hi there.
you are up.
I just sent Todd an email so he can see
Okay, but wait a minute.
what.
You gotta come up here to a
I'm
microphone.
going to. That's why I'm.
Oh,
And before you start talking, do you recall or remember any discussion about boring under the roads instead of cross-cutting them?
Where?
For the county?
In the county. I know we talked about it when that stuff was going on with Dr. Dunn north of the high school. But I don't know that, none of us can remember actually having an ordinance.
Oh, no,
Enacted.
we don't have any ordinance. I don't think we have any ordinances.
no,
If the light's on, is it on or off?
Then you're on.
it's on.
Okay. I don't think we do. I don't think we do.
Okay.
I can't remember
We discussed it quite a bit, but I don't,
a
evidently,
long time, like 3 years ago, when that all was going on?
I don't think it was that long.
2 years
No,
ago?
yeah. It's been since I've been in office.
I told Susan 2 years, I thought, but it could have been 3 years ago. Time flies when you're having fun.
Right? Okay,
No, it's been since I took office.
I shall,
Okay, then that answers
look.
that.
okay,
That'll help a little bit.
got it.
And you might
Okay,
have to
Chris, what you got?
Yeah, I will.
Since we probably don't have an ordinance.
I think I kind of know.
It's me. Todd, did you get that email I just sent?
Todd is listening.
Oh, he can't talk?
He can talk, but if you don't talk into your mouth like me.
Todd, did you get that email I sent you?
Did you just send it?
Yeah, to your county email.
I will look at it.
Okay. That way you can at least see what we're looking at. I've got stuff for you too. I'm coming.
I could have come over.
Pass those to Susan. And you've got them. So we've been. Oh,
Oh, more papers.
to Susan and
Oh. More
Jim, yeah. I've got more for the crowd if you're interested. We've had window AC units now for, this is going on year number 3. And I think Bill was here when we first did it. It's due to the fact that and that's why Larry's sitting here too, due to our AC unit not being EPA certified or EPA something or other, where they won't service, the company that was servicing our AC unit stopped servicing it because it's not meeting standards. So we have 2 AC units. Larry brought us a new one because the old one
would work for a period of 2 or 3 minutes, stop. It was tripping breakers. Our front office and the back office where our building inspector is, where Charity sits, that whole office, which encompasses 5 computers, 4 telephones, the printer and copy machine, the paper shredder, a small refrigerator, and now 1 window AC unit, all powers off of the same electric circuit. Our other AC unit is plugged into my office via an extension cord. And the second computer that we have at the front counter is powered via a extension cord to a surge protector box, then to the computer. So I think there's some issues there with the electric. It's not tripped since we moved the AC unit to my office's plug-in. My office seems to be on its own electric breaker. But it has tripped it a number of times prior to that. And I know this is probably the low end of priorities as far as offices go, but this is the 3rd request I've had to commissioners, and this was, Susan can probably remember, and Larry can remember. Back in 2018, came to commissioners, they all said, go get quotes. We worked our tail off to get quotes, and then falls on deaf ears. There's weak spots and holes in the floor. The men's bathroom flooring, the toilet's been leaning for years, and it just gets worse over the years. There's multiple holes where the floors had electric boxes put into the flooring. And so there's like little holes. They're not probably anything structural, but they're there. ADA compliance with our office is not good. I'm sure it's grandfathered in, but doors open inward where they should open outward, the ramp, that sort of thing. And none of the interior has been remodeled since the cruises moved out in 1987. So we're dealing with just a gross floor. I can't tell you the number of times contractors come into our office and say, this is the building department? Where we have I wouldn't say unsafe, but not to code building department. Anyway, so I just took pictures on Friday of what our office looks like. You all been in there, you've all seen it. You can see the electric cords that are just extension cords going from plugins. This is on page 3, going to the electric or the surge protector box that you see over by the plat books. The electric cord going to through my office, through the hallway down to the AC unit. The new window AC unit that Larry got that is white, which I requested. And then just pictures of what our office looks like. It is what it is. And you can tell by, if this was anyone else's office or home, I'm sure it would be remodeled in no time. Our men's restroom, this is me looking at the mirror, and not that this even matters, just shows how dysfunctional they did things back then. The mirror is literally, you couldn't see your face. So it's just awkward.
Maybe they didn't want to look at themselves.
I don't know who was working at the cruise office then, but maybe in the men's. Well,
Could have been a height
God
challenged
love David.
individual.
It may have been for David's height. The men's, we have, watermarks that this all just comes usually in the winter when snow load on the roof and leaking into the roof. I don't think it's been leaking for some time. I don't think it leaked at all last year. I usually text Larry when there is a new leak and we get it fixed. But just showing you what our office looks like and what potential things there could be. I've got quotes and plans from Fetters Construction and Signature Construction back from 2020. And I'm sure prices have, as you guys know, have doubled or probably quadrupled. We were looking at probably, I think the lowest was Signature at like $66,000. And, you know, so it's just gonna go up in time, and I don't know what to do as far, we keep the AC unit, we lower it to 62. It's at 62 all day. When I come back from lunch about 1:30, it's hot. By 2:30, I'm messaging Susan and saying, it's so hot over here. I'm coming over to your office to work. Because it can't keep up with the amount of heat. And days like this, when it's relatively cool, it'll be fine. But when it gets 80, 90, and it's full sun without overcast skies, you're hot in there. You're hot in there. So
And I don't know if you remember, Bill, we had got a price on replacing the AC unit.
Yeah.
And Pryor did not want to do it.
And that was because of potential talks of moving offices
Yes.
or
Yes.
building
Correct.
something new, renovating.
And that's why this is all got the can kicked down the road. And I'm as guilty as anybody else for that, but it was under the assumption that something was going to change, that we could actually move you out of there. Well, nothing has happened, and now we're to the point, we got to do something. Whether we renovate those offices and that building, upgrade that air conditioning, it's all going to be in one package. It's going to have to be.
Right.
But we're to the 11th hour and 45 minutes on this thing, so we got to do something. Yeah, one way or the other.
And
we've been hearing about this and that's going to happen. Nothing's happening.
Yeah,
From the
and
other
that's what
side of
Larry and I
the-
talked about, yeah.
Yeah.
And we've had, who's the city councilman that's the concrete guy? That came to look
Kevin
at.
Webb.
Well, yeah.
Webb.
Yeah.
Came to look at it as far as the foundation, says the foundation is good.
I went through that with Kevin.
Okay, okay.
Actually, was with Kevin. He said the foundation's fine, you know,
Yeah.
the building's not going anywhere. If you want to remodel it, that would be fine to do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's functioning okay. I would like to get GIS guys over, but, you know, is the plan to have the weight room I think the weight room's probably a big structural issue. The sheriff's weight room's in that other side. You know, I don't know what we should do, and it's not my decision, I guess, but is the plan to get it remodeled? We've done plans to build across the street and, you know, then tear down this building and leave it as parking.
I think this is.
What's the plan as far as anything? I've heard
Well, I think
moving
this-
our offices out with others into the,
This is an opportune time, I think, to take a real hard look at that. You know, what we're going to do for county business office space going forward. You know, before we put 6 figures of work into that building,
right?
you know, I think we've got some options that are worth taking a look at to see if we can't maybe eliminate some of the being scattered all over downtown, along with some of the complaints about security issues and so forth too, by putting business offices in an area together where it's kind of one-stop shopping, putting law enforcement and judicial in the courthouse, and this is the stuff that just drives me bat, you know what, crazy about county government. You know, this is the kind of thing that in 2018, when we started talking about this, it should have been in a capital improvement plan or a strategic plan.
It has been
that-
for the years I've been here. I've put it to
Well,
council,
I'm talking about an action plan.
right?
Yeah.
Where,
I see what
okay,
you're saying.
in 2021, we're gonna, you know, we start budgeting for this stuff in 2018, and say in 2021, we're gonna remodel this, or we're gonna do this, or we're gonna take a look at it, or whatever. You know, I mean, wait until the plaster falls off the walls and then deciding we're gonna fix the plaster and the paint in the treasurer's office is just insane as far as trying to run a government entity the size of DeKalb County. You know, we need to get our act together and start doing some planning from a long-range standpoint. Now, I'll get off my soapbox, because in all this time, I thought you were just going for shabby chic.
And,
Well, it is true.
and I will say
Shabby
this, Chris has been very patient. But.
He
but-
hears the brunt of it, though.
Yeah, I do.
He gets
But,
calls.
we need to do something.
Well,
I
absolutely.
mean, it's not fair for them to have to work in that, so.
Well,
we-
it's an embarrassment to have a contractor or anybody from the public walk into that office to do business with the county. It makes us look like a bunch of damn cheapskates who don't know what we're doing. And I think that's an embarrassment to the county.
So when something is discussed and started to be talked about, because I know there's been talk for a long time with the security in different offices, we probably need to discuss like logistics of what offices need to be together, and like it would be monumental that Chris's office is close to my office because of transfer and GIS.
Yeah.
And so that the dynamics flow.
Well, we'll just put you over there with the GIS office.
We're going to move you to the weight room.
Careful what you wish for.
Okay.
No, she is
I'm
right. Like
serious,
we
though.
do have,
give
when
you
plats
another extension
come,
cord.
people
Right.
come to our office to sign, and then if they do have to go to different offices, they're usually going to our office and then offices in the courthouse. When they are permitting, they usually go to our office. And granted, it's just kind of the way it works right now, but our office, surveyor's office, health department, soil, water, if they have to go talk to all those people, they're putting 20 miles on their car going to the different offices back and forth. So,
I will offer this. I can get the space and facilities usage analysis done. That won't cost us a penny. And if you would like to have that done, I can get it started. We can discuss it, we can throw it in the wastebasket, we can whatever, but it's a starting point at least where we can,
Yeah, let's do that.
all right.
Let's do that. And in retrospect, you know, we're playing catch up.
I know.
We're playing so
I know.
much catch up.
I know.
And it's hard to move ahead and envision what needs to be done, yet still trying to catch up from the past that hasn't been done. You know,
I realize
highway
that.
de- And you understand.
I'm not
that.
blaming
I think
the three of you
everyone
at all.
does understand that. So I don't know
There's,
how do we work this out, but obviously we got to do something.
I just want to make it sure that I know that it's not going to get fixed overnight. I know that the three of you did not do
Yeah.
any of this, but I do want to keep it at the forefront of what it is we're doing, and it's good to hear something. You were thinking about doing something to
Yeah,
get there.
well,
So.
we got to stop waiting on the other personalities in this debate to come to a decision and make some decisions of our own.
yeah.
Yeah,
We can't wait on them anymore.
yeah.
They've kind of, what do I want to say? I don't want to get too vocal here on this, but, you know, it's been just nothing decided. And so we're sitting here in limbo.
Well, it's been going on for so many years, and now all of a sudden, all this stuff's coming down on our
Yeah,
heads because
yeah.
it's been neglected for so long.
So anyway,
So just so you can see what we dealt with, that's why I supplied this to you, so.
that's unacceptable, having to run the extension cords to run the portable ACs and everything in that building. We just can't, you know, put it off long enough.
It's also a hazard having it like
But yeah, it's,
I would, I think you should provide the pictures to council as well when you do your budget presentation. And just so they all have, or email it, however, just
Yeah.
so that they all, because I'm sure they don't all come around to visit, so so that
Okay.
they are aware of this as well.
Do that.
do we run those ACs through the night?
We do. And the reason we do, and the reason we usually freeze in the morning is because we want to make that cold air last as long as we can. If you would like for us to turn them off or turn them up and then turn them down when we get to the office, I'll do that. But
Well, but if
it's
you have a really hot night, then everything warms up and they play
Right,
catch
when
up
it's-
for
when
the
it's
first
80
6
at
hours of
night.
the day, yeah.
It will. I mean, on night, I think it's going to be relatively cool until Thursday, Friday of this week, and then it's going to shoot back up tonight. I say relatively cool, 80s, but then shoot up into the 90s Thursday, Friday. That's fine.
By the
but
afternoon, it's 75 degrees in there, isn't it?
warmer, at least. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
could,
It's on a hot day.
we could get a couple more AC units and run extension cords over to the jail.
We're running out of windows.
Well, the other, I mean, we just
And
don't
extension
have,
cords.
we don't have the wall outlets either. We have,
That's the
we have
thing.
no wall. I mean, that's why there are
That's-
extension
yeah,
cords, 'cause
that's the problem.
there's no outlets.
The whole system is inadequate.
It wasn't designed for office, or
No.
that type
It
of
wasn't,
office.
when cruises were using it, there weren't computers.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
there wasn't a need for the amount of
Right,
plugs.
right. Okay, Chris,
Thank you.
apologize
Nope,
for
don't it's,
not getting more done
if we can
sooner.
work towards a solution, I'm happy to be there too. And we've got GIS guys that can draw up the plans on CAD. Jarrett and Anthony drew up office plans for when I was told, look for something across the street and do a plan for it. So if there's anything that you guys would need as far as
Just to have
office
that.
build out of something,
Right.
you know, we can put that in a CAD program and figure up square footages and all that. So you don't have to farm that out to a company just to get a answer you don't like or something.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Okay?
All
Thank
right.
you.
I emailed you a photograph.
Talk about that?
Yeah, let's, why not? We got time.
Yeah.
And Jim's here.
What's that?
Craft property.
Oh,
The photograph that was emailed.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap.
Well, what time is Sandy due? I don't want to keep her.
Sandy's at 9:30. I think.
I actually brought Sandy in early than what she had originally because we weren't busy, but it's all good.
Got an
This
extra,
won't take that.
got an extra 5? Okay.
So what are we talking about?
Ben Craft and the
Craft's
Craft property
property.
out at 56 and 60?
55.
55 and 60?
Okay.
The photo he sent out, I was going to run out there before coming here, but I knew I wouldn't have time and didn't want to be late. I'll go out and take a look too and get additional photos. I sent photos to you from last 2 weeks ago. I try to go out there every month and look at pictures or take pictures. Maybe I should go out there often, but he's dumping more. It's not trees and
No,
dirt. It's
construction.
that most recent photo looks like it's dirt with
Bunch of concrete and
a
stuff.
bunch of concrete. And to me, I think it's the Allen County projects that he's bringing back up here.
The text I got.
dump.
The text I got from the neighbor, that it looks like he's putting embankments up around and leaving space to drive inside
And then
and
dump.
do whatever he's doing, kind of screened
Yeah.
from view. I don't know. And I do know that they've said that the honey wagon has been out there a couple more times. What they're dumping, I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either.
You know, I don't know whether to sick Kathy on that or not, but
I mean, the last correspondence they've had with us was via their attorney about trying to set up a meeting. And I know you talked to him and you talked to someone about the rezone and stuff like that. And they've never,
yeah, I met with Ben and his parents and.
and that was facilitated through Bob.
And Bob, yeah, Bob Kraft. And told them they just have to stop dumping. That's just it. They can't do it. The only recourse they've got is to try to get it rezoned, which I didn't think was gonna go anywhere.
Yeah. And it's not, they've not applied or,
No, which just tells me that they have no intention of cooperating. They had just gotten the final approval to start. I don't know, I don't remember whether it was IDEM or Army Corps to start that remediation that they.
Of the
plan
wetland.
That they had agreed to with whichever one is governing to clean up the wetland part. But that just really meant moving everything to the high side anyway.
Right.
So, I think we're at a point where, I don't know.
And I think the only option we have is probably to send one final letter via Jim, and it can probably be a copy and paste letter, giving them 10 days to stop and apply or meet with us to come up with a solution before going to court. And then the other option is just, and if they don't, then sue them on the grounds of everything we've had. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I don't either. I think that's probably where we're at. If they're doing an embankment or, if they're berming all the way around,
Yeah.
just to screen that, that's certainly going to cause some drainage issues, if nothing else. And,
Right.
Maybe we'll loop the IDEM guy and Nellie and Cameron in on that email too.
Okay.
Just to,
Okay.
I'll go out and take additional photos today and get those sent to you this afternoon.
all right, thank you.
And then do we want to just reconvene on Monday and look at those or I guess
be
can't
the
Monday because it's
11th.
the 4th of July, the 11th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That way, and then come up, I can invite Nellie and I'll invite the IDEM guy, at least maybe he can do a
Yeah.
conference call.
Yeah, that'd be
if he can't
great.
come up.
That'd be great. Yeah,
If you wanna do that.
We can zoom him in, yeah.
And then I just want you to think about something, just so I don't step on any toes or anything. Most of this comes from the ordinances, the Unified Development Ordinance and things that you are in control of. Is it all right that I'm working on that, or should you run that by Andrew Cruz first?
That's up to the commissioners first, because then I'd be using you on planning and zoning. I would personally like to keep it at one attorney and not two. So if it's because you've worked on it, I think it's fine that you
And
continue
that's
to
fine.
work on it. And I'd be
I'm
fine.
more than happy to do it.
Okay.
And I think I probably should, but that denigrates a little bit Andrew, and I don't want to do that.
I don't think Andrew would have any issue, and I can talk to him about
I
that
don't
too.
think so either,
He hasn't
to be honest.
He hasn't been involved in it
No.
anyway, with the exception of the BZA
Right,
Yeah.
approvals.
All right,
approvals. that-
and I'm fine with that, then you can count on that, and
Yeah.
we'll get together when you're ready, let me know.
Yeah.
In terms of.
'Cause I do think we're gonna have an
We'll talk
IDEM.
about it on the 11th.
Yeah.
And then, you and I'll get together on a 10-day letter.
And I do think we'll have IDEM, soil, water, potentially the highway, potentially drainage board, or drainage, or surveyor's office. So I think Jim and the health department, him being the majority of those department's attorney, I think is fine with that.
I'm probably going to need to go through that attorney. I don't think that attorney ever did anything more for him, but since my last correspondence was from that attorney, I may have to go through him, but then I can't tell you to write to Kraft yourself. But you could copy him with what I sent to his letter, to his lawyer.
I suspect that what their attorney told them was you've got no leg to stand on, so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
assume so. I'll get those to you guys today, and then let's
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
reconvene on.
clarify one thing. You suggested Jim sending a letter, blah, 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 giving him 10 days, yada, 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 or to apply for what?
Or we would have to go to court if he's
Go to
not gonna,
court.
if he's not gonna comply with.
But
I
those
think you
are
got
all things that are
comply and
gonna be
apply.
discussed.
Oh, there wasn't like, you
Oh.
have to apply for a,
Mike talked to him about applying for a rezone, to
okay,
rezone the property from agricultural to an industrial use, so he can
got it.
use it for a dump.
Okay,
But,
thank you.
yeah, that was it.
Okay.
I doubt that's gonna be
Thanks,
approved.
Chris.
But all of that, Susan, is subject to a discussion on the 11th. So it might make sense for you now to get some time on the 11th for
Yeah, we
Chris to
can.
plan on, because
get
he
with-
was talking
I'll get
about
with
an
the girls.
IDEM rep and other people.
I'll
Get
get with
with-
them. I'll go talk to them now. Carla?
Just wait until I'm done.
Okay.
Because I have a whole, like, I think we're going to be camping out here on the 11th. We have a whole list of stuff that we're doing.
Okay.
It's going to be an
Prob-
all-day
we'll
affair
probably
with
need
the
an hour,
commissioners.
Or at least a
So,
half hour.
yeah.
I would put an hour down, and if we don't need it all, that's fine.
I will get with you after
All
the
right,
meeting.
cool. And if it does has to wait, we can do it on a time where there's less.
You may have to. 11's
We'll
gonna
figure,
be
we'll
jammed.
figure it out.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris.
Sandy, sorry, Sandy, we got wrapped up in something else that
That is okay.
Thank you for your
bobtailed off
patience.
of another issue, and we just couldn't,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I wanted to talk about capital funding, a forecast. You know, I haven't had to do much forecasting the last 2 years on interest rates because there haven't been any interest rates. Now that the Federal Reserve is moving, become much more aggressive on that, I have all the CDs that we have currently in place within the next 3 months come up for maturity. So I need to figure out what my strategy is on that, and I need some information from you guys. You know, currently the rates that, I mean, we've seen some movement on our checking accounts, on our savings accounts, where we have the most of our money through Trust Indiana, where the rate this morning was 104 basis points, which is amazing compared to what we've had, you know, in the past, where it got clear down to, you know, 15 basis points on a good day. So when we have a CD that's due this week, I'm expecting that rate to come in about 175 basis points if I take it out 6 months. But I don't know what you guys have in the pipeline as far as long-term, short-term. I'm just looking for a little bit of information from you. We've got all of the ARP money, the 8.4 million or whatever that is, that's just sitting in Trust Indiana. It's earning the 104 basis points. But I'd like to have a strategy just for that, to invest some of that money a little further out to get a higher rate. If I could double that rate, that's kind of my goal. But I don't know where you guys are thinking of, you know, when you want to spend that money. And then in addition to that, you know, the county is fairly flush with cash, and I want to put a strategy in place to invest some of that at a higher rate. So I don't know if you guys are able to give me some of that information now, or if it's something you want to think about and get back with me. But, you know, I do know that starting this week, our CDs are going to come rapidly here in the next 60 days. They're all coming because we try to get them out of the tax collection period when we're all busy.
Thinking about 12-month CDs or further out than that, or?
I'm not sure, you know, the Federal Reserve, they're not, you know, the market's still pretty skittish from the last half a point that they did. It hasn't settled in. I don't look for Federal Reserve to do anything for the next, probably not until November, maybe. And at that point, I don't know if it'd be 0.25%, but, you know, I could do it 6 months. There is some, but if I'm going to ladder, if I'm going to put my strategy in place, I would probably do some of the ones that's coming due, you know, 6 months, maybe 9 months, 12 months, kind of capture, you know, what we have out there. I don't know if I would do all of them at 6 months, because then we're in the same situation, you know, 6 months from now.
Do it at the same time.
Yeah, so, but I don't know what you've got, you know, the highway department, and if we're looking to spend, you know, a chunk of money there, I just know that we've got a lot of money sitting around that is, not earning probably what it could.
We still have some discussion with the council as far as the highway. We're not sure exactly where we stand on that. Hopefully, the 12th, we'll have more information, give you a better idea of how much we will spend out of that ARP money for highway.
Okay. And would that spend be like immediate, or would it be,
It's probably going to be, and that's hard to say too, because we're still working on the design and some of the aspects of that project manager issue. We're not, in my mind, we can delay that another year with the city as far as moving. So we're not in a big push to move that ahead like in the next 6 months or.
okay,
It might,
Best case scenario would be 90 days. I mean, best,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
that's
you're probably
good.
right.
Okay,
So,
somewhere between 90 and 12 months.
okay. And so, that's highway. Are there any other large expenditures out there that you guys would anticipate within the next year that I couldn't tie the money up? And when I say tie up, we would never lose principal. We might lose some interest if we had to cash in a CD early. So it always would be safe and very liquid. But,
So if a need arises, we could always get to it.
absolutely, yes, there would never be anything that we wouldn't be able to.
as you heard with development of services,
Yeah,
and that's probably going to be, it's not, if we do remodel that building, we're probably talking double of what the original estimate was, I'm assuming, probably 120 to 150,000.
and I would think on that, just my thought is, whether it's development services or somebody else there, I don't think the county is flush with space that they could give that up entirely. So whoever's there, there's going to have to be some remodeling done if they keep that space. So, yeah.
Good point. And I was thinking a little bit along the same line. In order to maintain the value of that building or that space, it would probably be money well spent in a way. Even if we don't occupy it with developmental services at some point. Whether it's leased out or sold out, whatever it might be, it's going to bring a better price tag if it's remodeled and brought up to code. So, yeah, that's
Yeah.
good suggestion, Sandy. I
Yeah.
think you're spot on.
Well, if you guys don't have any objection, I will put a strategy in place to go out and, see where the rates are going to be. I'll know better on Tuesday or Wednesday when our first CD, what the current rates are. But I do know that right now they're kicking about 175 basis points for 6 months. So,
Okay.
okay,
All right.
Pretty
okay.
impressive.
Yeah, well, better than it has been. I feel so much better.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
And then I have one other request from you guys. Our office is, we're doing away with our electronic our e-payments through Star Bank. They're doing away with that. We're bringing in a new vendor, which you guys have already approved that. Because we do have, I will be involved in the next 4 months in a lot of online discussion with them. They're bringing up they have almost ready for us to go on site, do a test site. We're trying to get our spring, fall, or monthly payment people converted over in our single payments. I've got that coming up, and I've got the Department of Treasury, Kelly Mitchell's office has got a lot of podcasts that's taking place. I would like permission, if I could, from you guys to purchase a pair of AirPods at about a $200 cost. It's in my budget, I have it. Just wanted to make sure that you guys, since you approve claims, that would not be an issue. I would use it with my laptop, and that way, I don't have a dedicated office that I would be involved with these discussions, kind of out in an open area. And it would be nice if I didn't have to be tied to a telephone or on a conference call to be able to, respond back as we're testing these out. So, want to get your approval to make sure that purchase was okay.
Pricey.
Yeah, I know.
I've got Bluetooth earbuds that I've got $39.95 in and that I use with my laptop, with my phone, with my everything else. $200 for.
Well, I know there are cheaper options. It's just that with my office being out in the open, with people coming and going, these are professional ones. There's no doubt that, they supposedly block out the noise more than normal.
Catch any of this, Todd?
Yeah, on the earbuds, I'm wearing these ones called the I Love. I bought them on Amazon for $29. They come with a charging case, and they work great. I love them.
Okay, I'll look at cheaper options.
Yeah, these work great. And if I lose them, I don't worry about it.
Okay.
$29.
Yeah, let's do a little shopping around on that, if you would say.
I would say that's probably, I mean, if it ends up being that's all it'll work, but I think it wouldn't hurt to take a look at something that's,
Okay, I will do that.
especially with technology the way it is now, getting less expensive all the time and better quality.
Okay, well, that's, as long as that's an option that
Yeah,
I can purchase them
Right.
so that I have something, because I do know that I'm going to be on the phone almost continually with this company in order to get the site set up.
no, I think, go and see what else you can find. And definitely, we give that okay.
Okay,
Right.
okay. But, and then my other request is, as you guys are struggling going through these issues, any large capital expenditure, if you could just keep me in the loop, because
Okay.
it's, when I pick up the paper and I see, some of this stuff, it would be nice to know ahead of time. If you could just keep me in the loop, that'd be
Okay.
great.
We will work on that.
Okay.
I'm shooting for everybody knowing 5 years ahead of time.
Yeah, no kidding. So, thank you.
All right,
Sandy.
Sandy, thank you. Okay. It's about break time for pledge.
Yes, it is.
I think we
Do
can,
we have more that we need to come back for? Okay.
we can do that.
I don't do,
Oh.
I'm just trying to decide whether I need to redo, because I have to stop and redo another live thing, which is fine. I just need to know
Let's
whether
come
we're coming back.
Let's
Okay.
come back. Yeah, we don't need to. We can do the pledge and a little break, come back, clean up anything else we might have. Okay, let's break for
Right.
pledge.
Okay?
Come on, Todd, let's go do the pledge.
Yeah.
You're up.
By the way, I can hear you much better now that you put some additional mics out.
Right,
That'll be
right.
clear now.
By the way, it's your turn to do the pledge.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Have fun.
Yeah.
Catch you in a little bit.
Okay.
Okay.
No, I was.
Wired nightmare